I'll get this out of the way right off the bat. This video is not intended to be a review of the Halo series. I'm not here to tell you if Halo is the greatest series ever made or whatever. This is just me talking about why Halo is special to me. There will be a little bit of critique in the video, but that's really not the focus. Back in 2007, I mainly used my Xbox 360 to play The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I would just beat that game and immediately start up a new playthrough, over and over again. I mean, I must have done that Gladiator stuff a dozen times. But one day, I was visiting my grandma's house with my brother, and our cousin rolled up with his own Xbox and a game I'd never seen before. Of course it was Halo. Naturally, we spent the whole afternoon getting halfway through a co-op campaign. It took longer than it should have because we were just messing around killing each other half the time. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before that game. I'd played military shooters before, but they all seemed so beige and miserable to me, so I wasn't a fan. But then comes along this game, and what really stood out to me was just how colorful everything was. From the enemies, to the plasma projectiles, to the environment itself, everything just sort of popped. It was gorgeous. Now, I was more of a fantasy kid at this point, so I think it's safe to say that Halo probably showed me that sci-fi could actually be cool. I grew up reading all these fantasy novels, but after I got into this game, I started reading sci-fi novels too. Of course, when we got back to our house, we immediately begged our mom to buy us Halo 1 and 2. They were old enough to be sold at a reduced price, so we got both of them at the same time. I think we sat down and did a whole split-screen playthrough for that weekend. The whole weekend, I mean. Like, we only left the TV room to eat. It was crazy. My favorite level is the island one. It's called, the Silent Cartographer. Yeah, of course. It's gotta be the prettiest one in the whole game. And I like that you start the map by storming the beach with all the Marines. I've always liked fighting alongside NPC allies, that can actually do damage. Most of the time, they're kind of just standing around, being more for aesthetics than function. But they actually did some damage in this one. They actually did some work. There's even a few little optional areas that have neat little rewards. And I think this is the map where everyone discovered how fun it is to get in a warthog and then throw a grenade on it and just flip around like an idiot. Good stuff. I remember playing like a coward. Well, I guess I was a kid, so I remember playing like a coward when he got to the flood section.
Oh, this is local! Here, Marine. That's an order. Jenkins!
We just hunkered down in that room that you load into after the cutscene is over. And we just inched forward staring at the radar, freaking out the whole time. I even remember me and my brother getting into a fight on, I think, the last level where Guilty Spark betrays you. Because we just kept stepping on each other's toes like brothers do, we kept getting in each other's way. So at one point, we were just staring at each other in the game at either end of a hallway, and he just silently stickied me with a plasma grenade and killed me. Needless to say, that play session ended right there. Because we got the first and second game at the same time, they both just sort of blend together to me. Halo 2 did feel like a straight upgrade to me, because it had all the things I liked about the first game, but it had better graphics, and you could dual wield submachine guns. What kid doesn't love that kind of thing?
Chief, I think it was trying to surrender.
It also helps that the melee was sort of magnetic now, so you could use it to hit enemies. And the first game, I never meleeed. I'd get right up to the enemy and just shoot him in the face. Because when I tried to melee, it just slid right off him. Oh man, it's a shame I can't put that Breaking Benjamin song in this video. Oh well. Actually, I think that's what got my brother into that band. He used to play Diary of Jane on repeat without headphones all day after school. So I had to listen to it too. I used to beg my mom to make him turn it off because it was just so irritating. But when she wasn't around, I just had to put up with it. It's probably one of my least favorite songs because of that. Just hearing it makes me irritable. It really does. Now, the best part about getting into the series so late is that Halo 3 was right around the corner. Like, we got into it in late 2006, maybe early 2007, and Halo 3 released in September 2007. So by the time we were done with the first two, boom, the biggest and best was right there. Now, our mom didn't let us get it at midnight. I guess she figured we were too young for that. But we did pick up a copy immediately on the way back from school. My experience was the same as the first two games, more or less, so I'll save you some time and just say that I loved it. What really matters here is that this is when we got Xbox Live. The first match we played online was it's pretty crazy. I had no idea online play was even an option until this point. The map was probably Isolation. I don't really like that one. Well, that was the first one, and my first experience with voice chat, I think, was hearing a teenager use a racial slur. And that was the first time I heard a racial slur, too. It was hilarious. We were just going crazy laughing. And then one day, my mom came into the TV room, and she said that my buddy from second grade actually was on Xbox Live, too. Now, we were really close. Like, it was a 50-50 chance if I'd go to his house on any given day. We were very close until he moved away. And I didn't even consider the possibility that we could become friends again. I was so young when he left that I figured once he moved, he was just gone. He was effectively dead to me. But we started playing together, and it was like he never left. We went right back to being best friends. Didn't stop there, though. I was a pretty anxious kid socially, so I rarely talked to strangers on the mic. But my brother wasn't, so he made plenty of friends, and once he did, I opened up to him too. And they became my friends. I still remember their names. Good dudes. Now, competitive multiplayer was fun, but what really mattered to me was all the stuff I could do with my buddies. We actually got every single skull in the game, even though it took ages because we were trash. Like, half those things need you to be on Legendary, and we... What should have taken an hour took several hours. It took whole afternoons to get some of these skulls, particularly on the last mission. I remember that one. That snowy area where you're climbing up that big Forerunner structure. And there's a skull around there. We died so often. What I most remember about that was being dead and having to spectate, because I guess I wasn't the best member of the team. But beyond even that, my favorite part of the series has got to be the custom games. Every time I got invited to a custom lobby, I joined it. Now, Infection is the classic of Halo custom games for a reason. Basically, once a zombie, which is just a fast guy with no shield and a plasma sword, kills you, you become a zombie too. And that keeps going until every player is infected. Simple, but really, really fun with your buddies. And there's Duck Hunt, where a guy is in a hunting blind, let's call it, with a sniper rifle, and he picks off all the other players while they try to go through an obstacle course. I'll include Halo on Halo as a Duck Hunt map because it's effectively the same thing but with vehicles. Then there's Jenga, where one guy launches the physics objects in the game at a tower full of guys. And there's so many custom games that I played over the years. Fat Kid is poorly designed, I guess. It's a weird one, but I liked it a lot.
I can't go forward, actually. Fun fact.
It's just one slow-moving guy walking towards you with a hammer, and everyone else is just shooting him.
I'm gonna get it through, bro.
It's just a round square and a peg hole, bro.
I got it.
Hold on, what?
Don't worry.
Peg, you said.
It's just a 20-point curtain.
Yeah, Peg, you said.
What?
I couldn't tell you why that one is so fun, but it was. And then, of course, there's the big one. There's Griff Ball. It was made by the Rooster Teeth guys. So, Bungie even cycled it in. You didn't even have to go into custom games to play it half of the time. Add its own playlist in the official matchmaking. Man, these custom games are probably the most fun I've ever had multiplayer, full stop. Like, I've been gaming for as long as I can remember. And when it comes to just raw minute-to-minute fun, it's gotta be this, Halo 3 custom games. And hey, shout out to all those guys who made naked chicks out of guns and just put it on file share. I was too young for that, and I think it was actually my first exposure to that kind of thing. Like proto hentai. So big ups to you guys. You're degenerates, and I should have seen that. But looking back, it's pretty funny. ODST was effectively a DLC. I know they say it was always intended to be standalone, but come on. It even has Halo 3 in the name instead of just being Halo. But I'm not talking down about it. Like, when it comes to actual game quality, I think this one is my favorite. It plays great in those lonely sections where you're playing as the rookie. It has an amazing atmosphere. Like the saxophone. Who doesn't love the saxophone? My only real critique of this game is that it just feels like you're playing as Master Chief again. Like, an ODST shouldn't be this strong. He should be slower, he should be shorter, and he shouldn't have an energy shield. And they give you an energy shield even though they don't call it that. You can get shot a certain number of times before it starts doing real damage. that undisplayed energy shield refills when you're not taking damage. I understand why they did it. Like, if they made the game actually hard, a lot of fans of Halo 3 wouldn't enjoy this one. But I would have appreciated it. Ah well, still a good game. I recently tried to go back and play the Master Chief Collection. But what I realize is that these games they just aren't there. From the start, Halo has always been a social experience above all other qualities to me. If I'm not playing with my buddies, then it's just not Halo as far as I'm concerned. And I decided that it's probably better to appreciate these good memories for what they are and not diminish them by going back to play the games alone. So I think I'm just gonna archive all those good times, put them in the back of my mind, and leave them be. The only exception is ODST. My least played game of the series, that I care about at least, and that game is a lonely, melancholic vibe, really is a good fit for how I feel about going back to the series. It helps that my friends didn't like it very much. I was a fan of Firefight, but every time we played Firefight, they just wanted to go back and play Halo 3 multiplayer. So of course we did. Like I said, it's about playing with friends, so of course I went back and played it. But I liked it way more than they did. I even played Reach and 4. But there's not much to say about that, because at that point most of my friends had moved on, so those games don't really matter. You know, I even remember more or less the exact spot in Halo 4 where I stopped playing my solo campaign, because I realized that I just didn't care about what was happening. Up to this point, I had played every single campaign with my friends. I had played all of them co-op. And then Halo 4 came around and I tried to play it on my own. And at the time, I don't think I identified why I was so disinterested. But now I know it's because it was always about my friends. I don't plan on playing any of the next games in the series going forward. I don't plan on playing 5. I don't plan on playing Infinite. When that new one comes out, I'm probably not going to play it. I'm not going to play Bungie's Destiny series. I'm not going to play Bungie's Marathon series. But I will say, I hope at least one of those works out, so that a new generation might be able to have a similar experience to what I did. Because it really was special. You had to be there to get it. So at the risk of sounding kind of corny, I'd like to thank the developers of the original Halo trilogy. I'd like to thank all the community members who made those custom games and those custom maps. If you made one of those, you contributed more to my childhood than you might expect. You brought more joy into the world than you might expect. I really do think you did something kind of important.
Document might actually be down.
I'm gonna send a BT message to
Reach
him.
is down as well.
Social Slayer population
Oh my
0.
God.
No.
Boy.
It takes a little
Let me-
bit to load, I think.
Yeah, what do you mean let me pick a playlist?
I don't
I
think
think
so.
this is it, boys.
I don't think it is.
Oh my
Come
God.
on, stop.
It's been an honor serving with you, lads.
And there it is. That's my love letter to Halo. It might not be the best series in the world, but it's probably my favorite. It probably did the most for me as a person. So, thank you to everyone who made it possible, and yeah, thanks for the good memories. All right. That's the video. Please consider liking and subscribing. Don't hold me to this, but I think the next video I make is going to be about megastructures in media. And even if that doesn't sound like your thing, I've got a few more gaming videos lined up. I've got some internet exploration videos lined up. So please consider subscribing. Thanks. Bye.